Good and beautiful evening from Buja, Nigeria. It's a pleasure having us once again tonight on Ladies in Tech Africa Bootcamp Project Management class. Thank God it's Friday and we're here once again to have another exciting and yet very interesting session together. All right, can I confirm you can hear me in the chat box? If you can, then let's see in the chat box. Yes, you can hear me loud and clear. Yeah, good evening, Gloria, Golua, Elizabeth, Chioma, Olayemi Olanwaju, Ruth, Inspire Verse, Journey, Omodasola, Pages of Motherhood, Irene, Jenny, Harjan, and all that. Thank you, and it's a good evening. Yes, Eniola says she can hear me loud and clear. All right, it's good to be here once again. With me on the anchor tonight is my co-facilitator, Nancy Baba Ali. It's that time when we talk project management. Okay. Right. So has it been Monday through Friday? So let's talk a bit on the chat box. How has it been for you? Just 2 minutes, and then we have a whole lot to cover tonight. And we will be wrapping up this week's models tonight. So I would employ everyone to sit tight and let's roll as a team. Shalomi says she's been very busy. Yeah, it's been a very busy week. And Adejoke says she's quite tired. All right, I'm not going to make it look so more busier than your schedule has been. Okay, so we're going to make it fun and educating. Yeah, Shalomi says she started a new business. So I'm having a new project manager in town. Right. So I think you're also going to talk about a little bit about that new project. Okay. Okay. Yes, Mabel, I had a good day. Okay. Quite busy as well. But yeah, we're here again. So, Shalumi, looking forward to have that discussion. I guess it's you're the one handling that project, that business. And some of the things we're doing here, or for the past 4 weeks, or 5 weeks rather, would come in handy for you. I'm sure about that. Okay? Okay. All right. No worries. Yeah, she says, yeah, that the class has been very helpful with the, yeah, she thinks more now like a project manager. So that's cool. I'm glad to hear that from you. Okay? So, hmm yeah, that's good. So, it's been an interesting one for you. So, I'm happy to hear that. So, that's quite good. Sounds very interesting. Okay? All right. So, once again, we are welcome. Okay. So, let's roll for the class tonight. Who is ready for the class? And just to be sure that we learned so much, by way of recap, what did you learn? What was your key takeaway Monday's class, and midweek class. So the last two classes, what did you learn so far? You're welcome, Shalome. Okay, Otoyo CS, good evening. Senatel, good evening. Inemesit, good evening. Zoe, Simi, good evening. Adeni, good evening, everyone. So, Gloria says she's ready. So, what were the key takeaways for you? What are the key takeaways? So, let's see. Hmm. Team, yeah, Joke says she learned about roles, different roles in teams, and then the Belbin model. Yeah, sure, that's good. Elizabeth, good evening. Yeah, Teshoma, good evening as well. Okay. Sikemi, you're welcome. Debbie, you're welcome as well. So we're here, and Adejoke just did inform that she learned something about the Bell-Beans model, Meredith Bell-Beans self-perception inventory. Okay, and quite good. I think Welupi says she learned about stages in team life cycle, which her team has been putting into practice. So it means that the teams have actually formed, okay, and to an extent, going through the storming phase. And I really don't expect so much about norming right now, okay, but I believe we are on track. Okay, all right. Golua says she learned about the responsibility assignment matrix, the responsible, those who approve, those who support, the informed, and the consulted. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Debola says team building is indeed a science. So it evolves. It's a very dynamic process. Okay, Chima, the team lead of Team 1 says that she learned what a team was and how a team, the difference between teams and groups, and the different roles in teams, and how every team has every one of these. So at the end of tonight's class, please do prepare. You are going to have the quiz to round off the week's activity. So I implore you, sit tight and learn so much as you can. We'll have a session for for questions. So let's just keep our questions until then. We'll have a lot to learn tonight. So the less of the questions, the better. So just keep the questions until when we go to the discussion time. So you can write it down, have it just at the back of your mind, so we can roll together. Okay. All right. Simi, I quite agree with you. You learned roles and responsibilities in teams. Okay. Yeah, she also learned about the RASIC. Yeah, that's good. Responsibility assignment matrix. Yeah. How to build cohesive and effective teams that consistently delivers. Yeah, characteristics of high performance teams is in essays and different roles that each team player or team member plays. I have McQueen says he hasn't received signal from team 1 or 2. Please can someone help me? So which team are you? Okay, so Ibukunolowa says individual personality comes to play in team building. Okay. Yeah, Oyindamola says there are different kinds of people in every team. And to get the best out of each team, you should identify the role each team member plays in order to manage them better. Okay, Fidelis, you're welcome. All right, so let's delve quickly into tonight's class. I can see that we learned a whole lot, and I'm glad that our teams are good to go. So, in the next couple of weeks, I expect that the teams would get cracking and rolling, you know, discussing. clearly what the identified projects, okay, and how to run with what they have identified. Roles would also be assigned to team members. So there's no going to be any room for dull moments. So everyone has to be on board. Okay, so tonight we will be talking about conflicts, how to identify, handle, or manage effectively conflicts. So the process of trying to do that would result in what we call conflict resolution. Okay, so conflict resolution, very important. Okay, so let's look at, so we're kicking off tonight very quickly. Okay, so let's roll along. All right, so I will not be asking more, dealing more right now with the chat box, but let's look at, let's go straight into why we're here. Like I said, we have a whole lot to cover tonight so that we can round off the class and then have some time for questions and answers. Right. Okay. So let's roll tonight. Conflicts, conflict resolution. All right. We're starting this class tonight to say that we all naturally act or react in certain ways when faced with conflict. What are conflicts, by the way? Conflicts are those a bit of here and there's challenges, issues that arise. Sometimes we call them quarrel. But we quarrel? We interact in different ways, bringing up our own opinion to be heard by the other team member. Okay. And when it doesn't go down well with each person, especially to the aspect of getting to understand each other and being on the same page, it seems as if there is conflict. So there is no bad or wrong way. There are just ways that work better than others in certain situations. So the way we handle conflicts matters a whole lot. So every one of us have one thing to say or the other, one idea or the other. So they are not per se bad or wrong or different, but it's just that everyone wants to bring that idea that would make the team function better. But if, for example, you're trying to make a point, how best are you going to make your point, or your to drive your point rather? So now that you're working in teams, you're going to have some kind of conflict of ideas or conflict of interest, you know, roles, who does what. I think I should be better here. I can do this better. Let he or she, let she work here. I think I can be better. I'm the doer. I'm the enthusiastic kind of person. I'm the creative kind of person. I want to work in this particular dynamic phase. So when we have all these interactions, sometimes it doesn't go down so well, either with a project manager or amongst ourselves as team members. So what do we do? How best do we handle such situations? Okay, so we say that conflict resolution would definitely arise. Okay, there will be conflicts no matter what. That's definitely bound. So it's something that you cannot avoid. Every project has conflicts, but how you manage that conflict matters a whole lot. Okay, all right. So what is conflict resolution in project management? So it involves identifying, addressing, and resolving disputes or disagreements that arise during a project. So, amongst ourselves, team members, we can have or be involved in conflicts. Team members, project manager, even stakeholders, we can all be involved in conflict. So, the PM and the TMs can also be involved in conflicts. The PM and the stakeholders can also be involved in conflicts. If there are more than one department or organizations involved in the project, there can also be conflicts. So we should expect conflicts at any stage of the project phases or the project life cycle. So it's very key to understand that it's not out of place to have conflicts, but it's how to understand how to address them, how to resolve these disputes or disagreements that arise during this project are what makes you a better project manager. Okay, so having said this, what next? Let's look at what Thomas Kuhlman developed, a matrix that explains the different stages people use to manage conflicts. Like the case study we had earlier on that involved the project manager Chioma, then Debbie and Agatha, you could see that there were some kind of disputes, disagreements between um, Debbie or Kemi and Agatha, but it was not managed properly. So when we don't manage conflicts adequately, it's going to affect project performance. Okay, so now this is what Thomas Kuhlman is talking about. That we have people, team members who are accommodating. We have team members who likes to avoid. We have team members who try to force, to impose their ideas on others. We have team members who are always willing to collaborate or see how best they can resolve a particular problem. Okay, and then we have those who tries at all times to reach a bargain or a compromise. So there are times in projects you reach a compromise, maybe possibly for a win-win situation, just to ensure that the project moves on. Okay, so let's look at these um, in a more, a rather closer dynamic. Okay, all right, so let's talk about interests. So in every project, every team member has interest. Every stakeholder has interest. Every sponsor had an interest. So the organization itself has interest. Okay, now that everyone has an interest in the project, how can we come to a process where, or a stage where, we all understand ourselves in the project? So are you the accommodating type that plays down conflict and seek harmony, understanding between team members or the sponsor or the stakeholders and all that? Are you the kind of person who wants to be collaborative? You always on the lookout for a solution that will meet the needs and goals of the project? Do you try to be that kind of person who, instead of being involved, you divulge yourself of responsibilities? Or are you the kind of person who wants to force, you want to coerce others to buy into your own interest simply because of who you are, your kind of person? Are you the president or are you the organizer? What kind of president are you? What kind of organizer are you? So you need to understand what characteristics do you bring on board. So we're saying here that we have interest in yourself or interest on the other self or the other person. So when we have more interest on others, you tend to be accommodating, you tend to be collaborative. Okay, but when you are more of yourself, you try to avoid responsibilities, you try to coerce others into what you want, not what the project wants. And then on the facelifts of it, You're neither here or there. You just want to reach a compromise. Okay, so these are some of the conflict management strategies that come to play when we talk about conflicts. So, when possible, do try the collaboration strategy. It may give surprising results, and in any case, the conflict will disappear into thin air, replacing replaced by a common problem to solve. So instead of you as a team member or a project manager using the words you and me, we start to use the words us and we. Okay, so it's more about we because it's not just the you. You see others in the picture of the project. Now that you are already in teams, I'm sure that the team should be more about we, us, not me, not you. So we stop taking positions and start to be able to see the bigger picture and become more creative about the solutions. So we try to see the big picture. How can we as a team achieve the set goal? How can we as a team win on this project, a win-win situation? You're not trying to see yourself bigger than others. Okay, so now we have a clearer idea about what project um, what conflict resolutions are. Now let's take a little, just five minutes or 5 to 10 minutes. Let let's talk about conflicts. Have you been involved in uh, a scenario that involves conflicts? So you can also share your idea, or you can share an example or something that happened, you know. So let's just talk about it a little. Conflict resolution. What do you think? How do you see conflicts? Have they are you having any conflict so far in your team? So team leads, you are also in this. Has there been any conflict? Yeah. Jim says which of these methods is ideal. So try to see yourself more not on yourself, but you have to strike a balance. Remember that in project management, we said that try to be situational. Okay. As the project is, you try to look at the bigger picture. What exactly would fit in for this particular one? Okay. There are cases you don't need to be so accommodating. You need to stamp your feet on the project or else it will fail. There are times where you need to be collaborative. There are also times you need to reach a compromise. Okay. All right. Thank you, Olaide. She says she's already enjoying tonight's class. This is what I try to do in my organization. When I engage my team members, I use the words we, us, rather than you and I. She said she had some with her landlord tenants. Yeah, maybe trying managing a property. It's not easy. Mhm. Yeah, so let's hear more on what you feel about conflict. Can we run away from conflict? Sometimes we are not so bold to stand tall to conflicts. We're not so bold to stand tall to resolve conflicts. So, as a project manager, you should have that uh, that at the back of your mind that see we can't run away from having conflicts. Yes, conflicts could occur when ideas or suggestions of individuals is not respected. There are ways you present your point. Okay, there are ways you go about talking about a particular, raising an idea. Okay, remember we said something about you're not coercive, you're not being forceful. Let me take us back to that slide. I think we just need to have, yes, you're not coercive. You're not trying to tell people, hey, it must be this way. Can we do it this way? What do you think? What if we do it this way? This is what I feel we would achieve. Let Drop your point and let people see reasons with why you think they should go along that way with you. So sometimes, yes, P says that. Okay, let's take Jenny. Jenny says, I realize that I have to be the balance in between without taking sides, being gentle yet firm. Yeah, yeah, I quite agree with you. You don't need to take sides, but you need to make the facts, state facts where it needs to be stated. Okay, don't be sentimental. We've said that in project management. You don't take in sentiments. So there has been misinterpretations of words and ideas amongst the members, but our team leader always calmly explain everything in a respectable manner, and the conflict evaporates. That is it. So give constructive criticism, okay? Because yes, it's important, yeah, to manage your team. Ekove says she sees conflict as an avenue to create better bonds with your team members, getting to understand their point of view and coming to playing ground that will work for everyone. Yeah. Toby says it will never be a one size fits all strategy. I agree with you. The situation will always determine what approach to take. Yeah, that's quite true. Okay. All right. Um She says also that as a PM, your manner of presentation and communication is very important. If not, you will soon have a conflict staring you in the face. That's true. She says that the Telegram group is locked. Don't worry. Okay. After the class, we'll have that engagement. Okay. The community manager is with you. Okay. Yeah, like this is very true, Toby. Yeah. There's never, remember, I said that that's why we said team building, team management, team development is a science. So it evolves with time. Okay, conflicts mostly occur due to poor communication, Esther says. Yeah, that's quite true. She also thinks, Ugonna, that being diplomatic can sometimes help in resolving conflicts. Yeah. So having cliques and gangs in a circle can lead to conflicts. That's also true. Okay, so just one more minute and we go back to the class. Conflict is inevitable. It will definitely occur. What mostly causes conflict in a team is how people talk to each other. Okay, so we should learn how to speak, how to interact, have good communication skills. Very key. Okay. All right, thank you so much. I think we have said so wonderfully well in the chat box and have some good interaction. So now let's delve into the next aspect of the class. We just said make something clear that how to interact with people matters a whole lot. And of course, respect is reciprocal. How you how you start up an engagement matters a lot, and the way you carry people along can also bring out a lasting result. Okay, can conflict occur between a food seller and the buyer? Why not? Definitely. Sometimes pricing can cause, you can just not decide exactly what could cause conflicts. Something out of nothing can happen. The way the seller would even interpret the tone of the buyer can even turn her off. So communication is very important. Okay. So why do we need communication? Remember, communication can be effective and ineffective. When the sender and the receiver both understand each other and they are on the same page, it means that something has been done positively. Okay, So now we will talk about communication further. What exactly is communication? It is the oil that helps the wheels of the project. I think we can relate with that. The oil that helps the wheel of a project and of any organization to run smoothly. We never communicate enough, and rarely do we communicate as consistently as we ought to do. The problem with communication is that everyone does it more or less well, and we all expect and assume that the message gets through. Sometimes we leave a message and we think that it has sunk in. Little do we know that it hasn't, or it didn't. When you pass a message via email, can you actually follow up to be sure that that person got your message, received the message? When you place a call and for one reason or the other, the receiver doesn't pick up, do you follow up with an SMS to find out truly if she got the message? Sometimes we just assume, yes, I've sent an email. Yes, I sent a text message. Not often than not that we discover that even the network can affect your text not getting to the receiver. And sometimes when you do communicate, can you kindly or nobly request for feedback? I would appreciate if you give a response, especially if it's a non-verbal form of communication. The problem is that there are many barriers, filters in the communication process. Semantics, the choice of words, the kind of words you use. Is it such that it allows for free understanding, clear understanding? So the way we pass information, the choice of words, do you use complex language to pass your information? Or do you break it down such that the receiver would understand? Improper channels. What kind of channels do you use to communicate? You need feedback almost immediately. Can you place a call? If he or she doesn't pick up, can you send an SMS? You know that not everybody reads email almost immediately, and you choose to use an email for a communication that you need feedback almost immediately. Just saying, like, you need to purchase 50,000 blocks, and you need to find out how much was released for 50,000 blocks because you are at the place where you do need to make the purchase, and you decide to send an email. For God's sake, when would that person receive the message and give you feedback? So you can understand. So status effects. I am the project manager. She just came in 2 months ago. We have been here for 4 years. Who is she to tell us, to determine what exactly we need to do? Absence of feedback. There's no feedback. So how would the process run smoothly? Physical distractions. Sometimes we are distracted in the communication process. Cultural differences. If it's not Igbo, I will not work with him or her. If she's not Idoma, I can't talk to her. Maybe you had an issue with somebody who is from Yoruba, and then the person you, not even the person you are working with, but because you had an issue with someone else who is from that tribe, you feel that you won't work with this person. For God's sake, let's be situational. Treat people as you meet with them, not because of what someone else did in the times past to you. It can destroy your project. Mm-hmm. Adejoke says texts are often misinterpreted, like the way Mr. Kingsley replied me one day. Hmm. You see now? I bet he didn't understand my comment and reacted that way. Oh, communication is very important. Make me understand. Now, that is why one thing, thank you, Joke, for bringing this up. Now, everybody, everybody reacts differently. If you feel that the person is not getting your message, come again, come back. Let give the person another feel, another understanding. Explain one more time. Don't feel that you have dropped the message. So, Joke, I expected that you will come back, reiterate your point. Please, sir, did you understand me? I guess maybe possibly you did not understand. But this is what I am saying. Now, you're trying to make the person come to terms to understand what exactly you were saying. On this platform, I interact with a lot of, I can't count the number. I reply to almost how many messages at some point. So there are a lot of people I will be dealing with from time to time. So you need to make your point clear. Okay? All right. Thank you. So we move further. So let's put our differences aside, especially cultural, religious. We are from different tribes. We are from different religions. We need to accommodate one another when we are working on a project. The aim of the project is not religion. The aim of the project is not cultural, but what? Meeting the set goals and objective. What is effective communication? Remember that effective communication is very critical to the success of any project. Communication not only provides stakeholders with key information and milestones, it also creates a dialogue, a room where people can sit like a town hall meeting and discuss key issues that affect the project. They get to understand where there are areas of resistance, where we need to massage our egos, where we need to speak to one another face to face, reality check, and then build upon the commitment that will unite the project for success. So when the level of change to the organization increases as a result of the implementation of a standard system, the amount and depth of communication must also increase. So the way you communicated yesterday, if you discover that there is a need to what? To improve upon the communication level today, you should do so without what? Without any bias. You should also be free to say, I don't understand what you mean. Can you please reiterate? Can you please um provide more clarity? Clarity so that I can understand. It's very important. And when you are in teams, be free, be easy to listen, be easy to accommodate, learn, listen from others, listen to what they have to say. Okay? So we have to listen to each other. You must, for communication, for you to be an effective communicator, you must have what we call, you must be a good listener. Okay? You must be not too quick to respond. You must accommodate other people's views. When you have accommodated their views, then you can bring all these views together, summarize them such that you can have a united front. Okay, all right. So let's move further. So in the context of communication tonight, we need to provide factual information. Just don't be too generic. Your information should be such that it would improve upon the project. Request for information or contribution for key individuals. Your viewpoints and opinions must be clear. You must bring something interesting to the table. If you are not there, people would call. They want to hear your view on this particular issue before they conclude, before they decide. So, for communication to be effective, it must seek clarification, it must raise issues, it must ask straightforward questions. Communication here must be able to also provide relevant, adequate information, comments, or suggestions as may be requested. And also, it should be able to seek public support and commitment from key stakeholders, sponsors, team members who are involved in the project. Communication should always include speaking opportunities for managers, informal communications, face-to-face discussions, scheduled meetings, orchestration of senior managers, ad hoc communications, as well as formal methods such as writing memos, passing internal memos, notice boards, emails, newsletters, other forms of engagement where possible. So communication should be open. It should give relief, freedom for people to air their minds, to say what exactly they have in mind, and be free to interact. Team members should be able to explain clearly what they feel about a particular project and how best they can contribute to the success of that project. There's a difference between allowing people in the team to speak and also when there is just overburden, where people just try to, because I've given you opportunity to speak, now there's no more decorum in the team. So we should understand or draw a line between when people are unnecessarily just speaking for the fun of speaking rather than contributing to the success of the project. So the idea you bring on board should be such that it comes with dynamism. Whatever you have to say is something that will add value to the project. Sometimes it's like that. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Yes, I think let me just take a few minutes to the chat box. I think there are some interesting things that are happening here. Okay. All right. Let's just delve. I saw something. Um, that issue of not reading the room has caused plenty of conflict in the project management group chat. Okay, will massaging ego not help it to bloom and then blow up into proportions in people's faces? My point, should egos be massaged? That's a bit hard to swallow. You see, there's this thing about projects. Whether we like it or not, everybody will not reason the same way you do. We are wired differently. We are created with different mindsets. We have different understanding as far as projects are concerned or issues are concerned. But sometimes you discover that, like the case study we looked at the other time, these two persons never wanted to step down for each other to take my idea. Okay, I should be able to say, I think I should listen to you. Whatever you have to say, I may not accept everything, But I should be able to come to terms with understanding that as far as we are working in a team, we need a common level playing field to understand ourselves. I can pick something good from what you have said. It may not be everything. When I pick something good, I can add it to whatever I have to say. We combine them. For what? Effectiveness. That is what we are looking at. That is the bigger picture. Okay. So we don't assume. Oluwasikemi says what? Refuse useless charter as a team lead. You should not be too quick to judge and things like that. So now tonight, let's delve back to our teams. Have we had issues like this? Has there been any group where there has been some form of conflict? Let's be free to speak. It's not against, there's nothing like, remember we said something here. Conflict management, in conflict resolution, there's no bad or wrong way of approach. Okay? So, have we noticed anything so far in our teams? Everybody is different. So let's just interact. Okay? Tosin says, are there people who are just bad with communicating, even when they try hard to? Yes, there are. There are. There are people who sometimes we say they don't know how to talk. Forget what they are saying. Like they don't know how to talk. Just can you pick anything from what they've said? That is one quality of a good project manager or a team leader. Pick something. Is there something to pick from what that person has said? Mm. Mhm. So let me hear us. What happened in our teams during the storming phase? Were there issues? This one said, I'm not going to take this. It's not good. Why should we go with your idea? Olaide says, pick something up. I can relate with you. Sometimes it's like that. There are people in teams that they always want to talk. If there are six opportunities to speak, they will want to speak in the five. But when it comes to listen, they won't listen to anybody. We have people like that. They are there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Alonso. Yes. See, we like I will keep saying this over and again. Learn to listen to others, no matter what it is. Okay? Ah, Omoda Sola says that it looks like Team 5 members are born again Christians for now. No conflict yet. Okay, well, I can also tell you for free that do you know that sometimes a project can run smoothly without it's very possible that you may not have conflict. Why? Because of the level of experience, the level of expertise that these team members do have. So sometimes you can see people not really say conflict. I think when I was working on this project, um we had we had to look at these dynamics. Okay, we brought in 5 gallons of top bond. We mixed it with this and we got the paint. So if we do it this way, because of course the experience on the team can help, but watch out. Okay. Yeah, someone was said, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Hmm. I quite agree with you. So how we present, um, oh, okay, Grace, sorry. You're just coming in. You're not lost, okay? We're just talking about conflict, okay? How to manage conflict and how to communicate. Okay? See, one thing that would help you in project management, your project management journey is experience. You learn on the job. Sometimes you try to look at what other people have done. How did they do it? Okay. Oh, Rachel, sorry. Okay, don't worry. We are talking about conflicts, how to handle conflicts, how to communicate. That's where we are. So you've not missed much. Okay. All right. Ah. Okay. Hmm. Goodness says in Team 5, one important thing that they've done so far is listening to each other and weighing their options together. We are just matured minds in Team 5, not Group 5. Team 5. Okay? All right. Because in this class, we've been taught that there's a difference between teams and groups. Okay. All right. So Irene says, yes, so some people can also express themselves perfectly via writing, but they can't communicate verbally. Hmm. Oh, Juliana. Juliana says this is our first class. You're welcome. So we welcome you wholeheartedly. Okay? I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So just pretend as if this is the first class. For the first time, we are all meeting. Grab what you can grab for tonight, and then you can come back to look at what we have done in other classes. So there are links for you to watch where and update yourself to speed. Okay. Okay. Umi says that team 3 team lead is the bestest. That's if there's an English like that. Okay. Maybe in this class we can allow that. Maybe, just maybe. Team 1 team leader is trying her best in a very calm and respectable manner to address anything that looks like a rising conflict. Well done. Hmm. Some team members would even say that they even know it more. When did you even join? Do you know that? In fact, they will even make reference to what they learned in class and this and that. Some will even say that, do you remember what Mr. Kingsley said? Hmm. A whole lot like that will even come in. They would even refer to the slides. Hmm. Let it go, let it go. Yeah. CKM is like you saw a lot of, you've seen so much cartoons in your life. You've seen a whole lot of cartoons. I can relate. Okay. All right. Hmm. Sarah, thumbs up for you. Okay. Or to you rather. How do I join a group? Don't worry. You will join group. Don't worry. Okay. Team 3 team lead is indeed a leader. Bola says so. Okay. So which team is the best so far? Okay. We would see. Remember that at 8 p.m. we would have a break for 10 minutes to sign our attendance. And immediately after that, we'll be coming right back to have to wrap up the class and the week. Please do recall also that the quiz for this week would also be posted. I'm sure that we are doing well in our quizzes as well. Okay, so okay, so team leads. What if you have a scenario where one of your team members is saying that they know more than you, they can do it better, and things like that. So you're going to hear a whole lot. Okay, so but I expect that by next week we would have found ourselves in the numbing stage, of the team project team life cycle process. Okay, and then we begin to perform before adjourning. Okay, so if you are just joining us tonight, we are having our class on conflict resolution and communication. All we've said so far about conflict is conflicts are those challenge disputes that arise, disagreements that arise while embarking on a project management journey, or a project rather. And then we also have, there are ways to communicate. Okay, for effective communication, don't assume, don't bring in sentiments, and don't judge people based on who you have interacted with in the past. See every person as a new person you are coming in contact with. Don't say because I'm Yoruba. Don't say because I'm Hausa. Don't say because he's from Islam or he's a Christian. No, we must see ourselves as team members. Put aside differences and let's crack this project together. That's the idea. That's the mindset. Okay. So if we can do that, then we can say, yeah, we have gotten somewhere. Okay. So, okay. So, when we return, we would go straight into the communication plan. Okay. So, we will talk about the communication plan and why is a communication plan important. Okay. So, okay. Hmm. Omoda Solar, that's good. Adejoke, what slide, please? What slide are you referring to? Wouldn't know. Okay, maybe when we return, we would delve straight into the communication plan. We will take a short break, and when we return, we will delve straight into communication plan. See you on the other side of the class. Okay, welcome back from the break. Are we ready for the next half of the class? All right, you will be added into a group. All right, with me here is Nancy, my co-facilitator, Nancy Baba Ali. She would love to say hi to the class. Nancy, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Okay, thank you, Kingsley. Hi, everybody. I'm sure you're learning a lot from the class. I can see a lot of banter going on in the comment section. Very impressive work. I like that there are conflicts in some of the group, in some of the teams, and I like the fact that there is a lot of mature minds. This is really nice. I'm glad that you are being in a real life situation, even though it's not, completely on set. But take this as like a real life experience to to navigate in your project management career. And I miss you all too. Thank you, Choma. Thank you, everybody else. Thank you, Adejoke, and thank you, Omar Dosala. Yeah. So I will leave you guys to continue the class. Um, just make sure to be very understanding, listening to all that Mr. Kingsley has said as a pointer on how to work with people. Always be compassionate, be empathetical, and be kind to yourselves. Don't don't strain your teammates and do your best to try to have one voice. Yeah. So without further much more ado, I'll leave Mr. Kingsley to take over the class, and I will see you next week.
All right, thank you, Nancy Bawala. It's good to have you once again, and I'm happy that the your students are having a feel of you tonight. Okay, I can see already they are at you already. Okay, so welcome back. All right, let's delve straight to communication plan. Why do you have the need, or why the need for communication plan? He who fails to plan have already from the onset failed to plan. So it's very key for us to understand that in project management, we need to communicate effectively. How you communicate goes a long way to decide how the project would end. We need to speak, we need to interact, we need to communicate, we need to bring people to the same page, define roles and responsibilities clearly, and also tell ourselves where we make mistakes and retrace our steps. So it's very important, especially if we must make progress. Okay? All right. So, why communication plan? It is kind of a dynamic document. So, it's not static. It's not cast on stone. Okay? It guides you to manage and control communications effectively. Okay? It helps you to know which events you are on at the moment, which events need to come after the most immediate event, what kind of, how clear are the people working on that particular task or phase, what is the progress of work so far, what the difficulties that you may encounter would be or are, and the steps that would be taken or are already taken to address these issues. So the stronger it is, the better the project would be. And there's also need for us to understand that we need feedback and monitoring of communication. So everything you do must not just be one-way traffic. It must be two-way. You give out information and expect what? Feedback. Okay? There must be a feedback mechanism. Create room for feedback at every phase or stage of your project. It's very important. So we need to monitor communications because it will help to assess whether the information or the message or the intended message has actually been received by the workforce and other key stakeholders in the project. So it's very important. We need to address certain key issues if we must make the project a very successful one. In the communication process, it should be flexible enough to adapt to changes at any point in time. So you must understand that adaptability is one of the characteristics of a good communicator. There may be need, there may be a changing need at some point which may arise, and we must understand that whatever information we are giving out in form of disseminating information to whatever department or whatever group of people involved or team leads or team members, we must understand what they are doing, when they are doing it, why they are doing it, and what you expect as outcome from what they are doing. Very important. So every communication plan should be seen as a living document. So see it as something that evolves over time. Okay? So in your communication plan or in the communication plan, you must have set goals, communication goals. You must have set the strategies for communicating effectively. Who are the people involved? We talked about teams and their roles. So who are you communicating to? So what are the key information, key messages, action points for this particular communication to be effective? What channels are you going to make use of? Channels, medium of communication. Would it be verbal? Would it be non-verbal? Would you be writing? Would you be sending emails? Would you be speaking face to face with such persons? Who is doing what and what are they doing? That's, you are now defining roles and responsibilities and attaching it with how you intend to communicate with them. So maybe for Ada, you're going to communicate via SMS, you're going to communicate via telephone, you're also going to communicate in writing. You're also possibly going to communicate by putting up a notice board where you have internal memo for your teams in a particular team. So whoever comes in the morning, the debrief, after the debrief, you set up your notice board where you can have your communication plan. So you know what exactly you want to tell them. Then what are the key success factors? What are the things that I can say this will determine the success of this. So it will help. So your communication plan will help to provide clarity. Okay? So how you understand, how you prepare, how you go about communicating would go a long way to determine the success of your project. So now let's take a look at like this is a template. I just came up with this template so that you can understand what a communication plan looks like. Okay, so I hope we can see clearly. It is a communication plan. So what are you communicating? What are you communicating? For what purpose are you communicating? Adejoke would prepare. Her task is to mix the dough for the baking. I need to tell Adejoke in the morning on Monday that she would be mixing the dough. Why am I telling her that? I am telling her so that she would understand that she is the first line of communication for this particular task. Without mixing the dough, we cannot what? Have our um, maybe is it baking, chin chin, or donuts or whatever. So what is the frequency? She's expected to do this for 5 hours in the morning. So before noon, it should be ready because it would rise. So who would check that it would rise? Bimpe will check. I need to also communicate Bimpe that she will check for the rising of the dough. Why? You tell her why. For how long is she going to check on it? So then you see, communicate to. Who are you communicating to? You write the person's name. So what method are you going to use? Phone call, face-to-face communication. So this way, you are not going to leave out anything. You're not going to miss out anything simply because it is well documented. So clearly, you have written down. Priest Regina says it's blur. I don't know. Okay. Okay, can you see now? Regina, can you see? I don't know, but okay. The first you have the communication plan. I don't know if we can see, but okay. All right. The title is it. This is a communication plan. Whatever is written in it, there's nothing written. It's just no text, no text, no text. Okay. So there's no text, no clear text written because it's just like a rough sketch. Okay. Now you have who is expected to communicate. What are you communicating? Okay. Communicate what? Who is communicating what? For what purpose? How long? The duration. So who are you communicating to? They should be clearly written. And then what method are you going to use to communicate? So that is the idea. Okay. So that is the idea. That's just like a sample. Um, yes, like I said, I did mention in the last class that going forward, maybe from next week, I will definitely do some upscaling of the photos, okay? So that during compression, it would not affect the picture quality, okay? Apologies for that, okay? So, but get the point. The communication plan has in it what? Who are you communicating to? What are you communicating to the person to? For what purpose? You're also going to tell the person how long he or she is expected to be on that particular task. Okay? You need to document the name. Who? Are you communicating to your team? Are you communicating to the sponsor? Are you communicating to the stakeholders? And what method are you going to use for the communication? So it's just a sample. Okay? Yeah, I think some persons are saying that it's quite clear where they are. So, okay. So I guess maybe just a few network issues here and there. Okay. So it's very important for us to understand. Okay. All right. So when we understand that, it helps. Okay. Okay. So now let's move forward. What are communication goals? So what exactly do you intend to achieve when we talk about goals, communication goals? You want to build awareness. You want every person, every team member, every person who is involved in this particular project to understand the project. You want to build understanding among the sponsors, the key stakeholders, whoever is involved in that project. You want to make them aware, you want to make them understand, and you want them to also have an understanding of commitment. Level of what? Commitment. So everybody on this project must understand where they are, what they are doing. This is just a sample of commitment level. So number one is you need to create awareness. Number two, they need to understand that they need to participate. So it is somebody who has an understanding, clear understanding, that will participate. And number three, commitment. So until your team is aware, until they understand, before they will participate. So I must be aware. That's contact me, tell me what I am to do, make me aware. When I am aware, you brief me to understand. Once I understand, I can participate. And when I can participate, I am showing commitment. So that is the idea. That is the goal. Okay. Yes, everybody must understand their role. What are you communicating? Why? When? How long is it going to be? Who and what? So you can see how it is. So answer those questions. Now we're talking about the goal. When you talk about the goal, communication goals, you must make every person on board this particular project to understand. They must be aware of what they want to get involved in. Okay? So now that we have teams, each team, each team is coming to understand that they have identified a project. They must be aware of what that project is about. So you have to carry them along. Thank you, Rachel. So that is what the communication goal is about. Then the strategy. What strategy? How are you? What are the things steps you're going to take to drive the goal of the project? Okay. So you want to ensure that at the end everybody understands the project. We must succeed together. Okay. So you're not just communicating because you want to communicate. You want everybody to be on the same page, and they need to know what to do. Okay. So it is the beginning. It's the starting point. So it is the reason for which a number of objectives have been established, to an extent where it's not just formal communication. Everybody now needs to be on the same page. So what strategy? It's just like a team. If you watch football, you will understand that winning winning is always the objective when you go for a tournament. So whichever way you want to win solely is determined by you, the coach of the team. He needs to make every team player understand that this is the strategy, this is the pattern. For us to win, we must stick together using this strategy, and at the end we win. So that is it. So why do we strategize? We want to demonstrate effective and consistent leadership of change within the project. So everybody on that project must understand. You must demonstrate high level, consistent leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So if you play your role and in the team you're leading plays the role, then there will be success. So everyone will see themselves as a leader of change. Then number two, we must also see that one of the objective of communication strategy is to ensure that everyone who needs to know about the progress of the project and see to it that they understand it clearly and have what it takes to go about it in the right way. We also want to see that the project is such that everybody is briefed adequately on time so that they will be committed to it. You're not telling me what I'm supposed to do today, this morning. I should have I should have a clear understanding early enough that okay, I will prepare my mind. But if I am going to work on this, I should have some pre-information sometimes if we want to get success achieved. So it will also help to formulate key messages and organize them as at when due. It will assist management to know what mode or what method they are going to use to deliver the messages. Like as we are on the YouTube channel, we know the organizers of this cohort, of this bootcamp, have already taken a decision early enough. What method are we going to use to communicate this training, this bootcamp, to our participants? So you must have some pre-knowledge, pre-information. What template are you going to use? And how would the key message look like? So that everybody would embrace it with common understanding. So it's very important. So when we have that understanding, it brings us to a point of, yes, I think we can now, everybody get to work. We can grow it. We can do it. So that's the mindset. Okay? So it also ensures that feedback is received, whether, which I've explained that before, that whether you're going to use, we're talking about the method of communication now, how you just don't give information. Where you expect feedback necessary, go for it because it will help the project to run effectively. Leverage on the benefits of effective regular communication between amongst yourself. So you must build upon communication. Everyday communication should get better. The lesser the communication, the lesser understanding in the project. The more you communicate, the better the project. The more responses you receive, the better. Provide early and effective responses to inaccurate and potentially damaging rumors from whatever source. So whatever information you receive, be ready to tell yourself that we are going to work on it. Address issues where you need to address them. So don't just assume, don't presume, go for it. Inform whoever needs to be informed about whatever. It needs to be done on time. Inform your key audience what needs to be achieved, when, by whom, and with what. Whose support do we need? Inform people of the project progress from time to time, including the successes and the problems. So if there are some places you find yourselves where you need to communicate on successes and feedback on challenges on a daily basis, sometimes on a weekly basis, and things like that. Don't leave it for long. Don't create too much gap in between, okay? So that it doesn't allow for failure. Provide feedback mechanisms to allow interested stakeholders to ask questions or make suggestions about the project and raise issues that are important to them. From time to time, if you need to communicate with the sponsor. Have you noticed anything? Is there something you feel that we should work on, and things like that? Then limit any disruptions to normal operations by ensuring clarity of understanding as to what will be expected of people, when, and to what purpose or end. Assess and monitor the effectiveness of project communication. So all we are saying in a nutshell is that there should be no room, leave no gaps, or leave no stone unturned. Carry people along, communicate as much as you can, address any issues that may arise. Let people understand, be on the same page as much as you can, weekly or daily if possible. Okay? And ensure that everyone understands what they are doing. Can we say it's better to over communicate? No, don't over communicate or under communicate. Communicate adequately. So if it is you need to communicate every 3 p.m., then make it 3 p.m. Okay? If you need to communicate by 7 in the morning and 3 p.m. in the evening before the project closes, before the staff goes home, do so. So you're not over communicating, you're not under communicating. And let the staff know that if there is any issue in between, they should feel free to come or to say so. Okay? So, yes, I agree with Sikemi. She says over explain. I don't call it over explain. Make your point clear enough so there will be no room I don't understand. And when you communicate, do you understand? Is there anyone that doesn't understand? Try to be sure that they understand. And from time to time, you supervise. Don't just leave them and say until 3 p.m. Okay, it can be damaging. All right. In summary, to disseminate timely, honest, and clear communications associated with effective and efficient introduction and implementation of the new processes and system. So we must be timely communicators, honest communicators, clear communicators, so that we can bring out the best in what we do. If there are changes, please do communicate. If there are adjustments, do communicate. So by doing this, the plan will contribute significantly to securing the active continuation of the project by sustaining the support of key senior sponsors and leaders of change. So we can achieve as much as we can if we communicate more effectively. Don't forget that in your communication timetable, if need be, like we did mention earlier, let there be a name, let there be roles assigned. If there are departments possibly where they are working on, you can include that. Give them a scope and a timeline to work with. There should be a time, there should be a achievement matrix, milestones and accomplishments, what you expect, and what they have done. Also, see impact and value to the organization and key stakeholders. Include their roles if there are change processes in between. Feel free to always integrate the plan that you have with other existing initiatives that have been done in time past. Have an overview of your project. At a glance, you should be able to look at your project and know what exactly it is. Is it performing, underperforming? Are there needs for adjustment, areas to be worked on, and things like that? So if you can address that, then you can be an effective communicator. Okay. So tonight we've talked about conflict resolution and communication, and as well communication plan. So very important. So let's go to the chat box. Where are we tonight? How has the class been? Do we have questions? Do we need clarity? So let me hear you now. Let's take some minutes and resolve this. Yes, Oluwatobi. At the beginning of the class, we said that tonight's class was going to be intense. Okay. Wow, she says, what a session. Tell me more, Toby. Ugonna says this class has been very mind opening. Lady says you've really helped a lot about communication. This was great. Egove says. Mabel says thank you, sir. Thank you too, Mabel. Hmm. Sikemi says quite a lot to take in, but very challenging. Yes, I agree with you. Okoro says wonderful session, amazing class. Thank you, Mr. Kingsley. Thank you, Lady, as well. So, exactly, Ogolu, I agree with you. We said that every project is is a living project. So treat every project like it has life in it. Okay? Chima says she would like to see this being practiced in her team. Oh yeah, Nike. Oh, so sorry about your network. Okay, you said it's been epileptic. Sorry about that. Elizabeth says tonight's class has sparked some self reflection in her. Okay. Omodasolo says it's been an amazing class. I now know that I can effectively communicate with people in my team and resolve conflicts without calling their names 3 times at midnight when they vex her. We need to communicate effectively. Yes, they can always go back and watch the slides. Hmm. Ibukunoloa says effective communication is the driving force that moves a project from inception to completion. I think you've learned a lot. Thank you, Mercy NSC. Mhm. Priest Regina says, "How do a project manager who really can't communicate much verbally go about it? Because communication is really vital. Even in that's part of why you're in this class. To be a good project manager, both your verbal and non-verbal communication must increase. You must learn the art of public speaking." Okay. But that's all we understand. We understand. Akim Pelupi says that this class will help our teams communicate better once we begin to put what we learned into practice. Mabel says, I've learned ways to communicate effectively. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So, team leads, are we here? Are all the team leads here tonight? Can I confirm? Are the team leads here tonight? All of them. I can see team one, team five, team three, if not correct, four and two. Where are we? Yeah, yeah. Okay. It says, Oluwafemi says that this class. Shima says, sometimes I'm usually tempted to pick a location and settle things woman to woman, but I'm a changed person now. Wow. I'm glad to hear this. I feel so happy to hear from Chuma. Tonight's class has really done a lot. So it's been also a session to self-reflect on some of the areas where we've not done so well. Nwokore Esther says public speaking. She's thinking deeply. Yes. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Priest Regina. I think Choma is really something. Yeah, she is woman to woman. But tonight we've learned not to do woman to woman. Okay. Yes, remember the conflict management strategies. Okay. Mm, okay. Right. Team one present. Team two. Debbie. Okay. Thank you, Emoja. Thank you. Angel Jumbo. Okoro, please. That's Debbie. Debbie, please reach out to Angel Jumbo. Okay. Yes, but you don't have to be calm in everything, no. Please don't get me wrong. There are areas where you need to voice out for your project to get to where it needs to. Okay? So be situational. Okay? Mm, yeah. What's the place of humor in communication? Mean, see, you have to be humorous. Okay? You know, in this class, in my class particularly, yeah, not just my class, in our class, myself, Nancy, you can see there's a whole lot of humor to what we do. Okay, we we try to be very situational. Okay, so a bit of you try to put smile on people's faces. You don't bant all the time. Okay, all right. So sometimes. You relate to other people, make them smile, make them laugh, but yet you making your point. Okay? Eyi Sowode. Yeah, I think she said that's her bad, right? But she's working on herself already from tonight's class. In Nemesis, it says this topic is an eye opener and really insightful, especially in how to deal with humans generally. Very key. And I also want to tell us, please, don't don't try to read unnecessary meaning to everything. Even if the tone is not so nice, don't read so much meaning to these things. See people that people are different. Okay? So sometimes you know, don't just like assume in your mind. What does this person? So you are now, sometimes we exaggerate it, we overbloat it. Okay? Please don't over. I know, Choma. Sometimes we just think out of like, see, I'm here to help you be a much better project manager. Okay? Don't blow them out of proportion. Okay? Sometimes, yeah, it's good to overthink, but overthink with, you know, how would I how overthink with good moderation. Okay? Don't read meaning to everything. Okay? Don't. It's not too nice. It's not too healthy. Okay? It won't help you. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Chinemerem says overthink with wisdom. Life na jeje olu ogolua. Yeah. Okay? Give people that room of like, okay, sometimes the way the person that is the sender is giving that communication, you know, may be different from what exactly you are thinking it is. Sometimes they may not really attach anything. It may just be the way they are wired. Okay. Hmm. Thank you, Choma. Thank you. So be slow to respond at times. Don't just respond to everything. Immediately the message comes in. Wow, you already come on. You don't even wait to think a second. Okay. Please be coming what? Down. I said that tonight. Becoming what? Down. So try to take it easy. Okay? We are all different. All right. So how's it been tonight? How's it been? As we round off. So I'm here wishing everyone a wonderful night. Okay? So becoming what? Down. Benefit of doubt. Yes. Benefit of doubt. Thank you, Chinemerem. She says it's been enlightening. You know, yeah, it's been an amazing class. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Kemi says thank you, Mr. K. Uh, you're Miss K too. Kemi. Yeah. So you are K too. All right. Try to see the strength in everyone around you too. Chuma says if it be that they just break recipient heart. Mm. Senami, thank you. I wish I can answer that to your name. So maybe give me your name for today. Okay, then take it back at the next class. Okay, Senami. All right. It's been an impactful class. Hmm. Joy. Joy says she's just arriving class by this time of the day. Ah, I can't say more. I can't say more. Please, I can't. Okay, Kate, thank you. Thank you also for being here. Thank you. On behalf, thank you, Mr. Kingsley. It's a reminder that effective communication is key to project performance. From Cynthia says she now has a better understanding of an effective communication. Okay. Oh, all right. Don't worry. Promise Monday is going to be better. So, on behalf of myself and Nancy Baba Ali, I say big wishing you a wonderful night rest. Oh, Dorcas is coming with a question now. All right, please do bring it up. Oh, oh. Okay, so Dorcas, you can still do a little bit of just communicate, maybe non-verbal, okay, okay, and still make the person understand why you said so, and you leave it at that for that moment. After a few days, if it's not resolved, you can still reach out, okay. If the person still feels the same way, you can use someone else too, especially if someone else knows about it, okay. Wishing us a wonderful weekend and hopefully to see you again on the other side of next week. On behalf of Ladies in Tech Africa Bootcamp, this is Kingsley signing out. Bye bye.